Sonali is a seasoned brand and marketing leader with over 15 years of experience over Tata Motors, Bosch, HCL, Panasonic, and Deloitte. So good to have you, Sonali. So moving forward, we have our another speaker joining up, Tang, APAC, Regional Marketing, Process Industry, Watson-Marlow, Fluid Technology Solution. Can we have a big round of applause for Faith? So Faith is a globally experienced marketing growth strategist with over 20 years of leadership spanning industrial technology, life sciences, healthcare, and many more. So good to have you here, Faith. And our final speaker, that is Dr. Stephen Poon, Associate Professor, MILA University. Can we have a big round of applause for Dr. Stephen? Dr. Stephen is a social creative catalyst with unique worldview shaped by a rich multicultural background and extensive experience across Europe. So over to you all. Thank you so much. So let's make it a power talk.
Yes. Good evening, everyone. I promised the organizer, both the panelists and the moderator, I promised her I'll wrap up in 15 minutes. I've seen a lot of tired face.
We know your neurons by now are not working anymore.
Yeah, no worries. This topic is really about human being. Yeah, we have so much on AI, so today we'll talk about human being. So I would like to do a little exercise. I believe everyone heard of 7-Eleven, right? Okay, I talked to some people. Can you just, whoever, you have a blank piece of paper in front of you, right? Can you, anyone just draw the logo for me now and show me? Yeah. Sorry, no prize, yeah. Your prize is your networking tea.
Mithali can arrange.
Yeah. Who is ready, then show me. 7-Eleven logo, just draw it. Okay, come, bring it up, yeah. Okay, anyone else? Quick. No, you need to, darling, you need to write the, not just the logo, full name. The full name, yeah. I'm not paid by 7-Eleven, yeah, just an exercise. Yeah, show me. I'm completely neutral, yeah. Okay, one. I just need two to three more. Quick. No price, yeah. This is just to get you working and walking so you don't fall asleep. So then, both our speakers. Come on. Wow, so many volunteers. Hallelujah. I think you're very tired already. Come.
Quite good number of responses.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. I get you boxing exercise. Okay. Yeah, I will do a quick one. Help me here.
Yes.
1, 2. Wait. 4. Okay. This one?
No, this one.
Okay. This one. Okay. We only have 3 persons who got it right. And may I know who wrote this? And this. And this. Who wrote this? Okay, 1. Okay, we are 3 persons got it right. Yeah, this one yours. And one more. Who has this? Can you recognize? Okay. Yeah. Okay, why we do this exercise? Every one of you wrote 7-Eleven, the N, you wrote it in uppercase. Actually, the smallest letter is lowercase. Yeah. Big round of applause to who got it right. Thank you. Yeah, this exercise is just to show that our brain tends to fill in the blanks. You know, as you write, ELEVA is uppercase, right? So your brain will tell yourself, automatically you will do uppercase. So what 7-Eleven did, actually they do it in lowercase. So this topic is about the power of persuasion, how our brain works. Actually, we all know how our brain works, just that sometimes we do not pay attention. I give you another example before I pass to my panelists. In 2013, I believe all you love chocolate, right? even though you feel very guilty by consuming it. Milka Chocolate launched a campaign by, it's called Missing Piece. Yeah, so for the campaign, they produced 500,000 chocolate with missing pieces. For every missing piece, those consumer who bought it, you can write a code, enter the computer system and say, this missing piece, the company will help you send to your loved ones. Get it? It's a very clever marketing, which means by the missing piece, you can show your love. It's not just eating chocolate, but you're sharing chocolate. Yeah, so today we're going to talk about persuasion is about your brain, how you can fill up the blanks. Yeah, and I want to highlight micro moments. I think all of us are marketers here, right? So a lot of times how we make decisions is not by like the standard textbook that we say, like demographics, what's your age, where you live. That is important. But most importantly, today, neuromarketing is about how at each juncture, the little signals that affect your brain, affect your trigger, that will make you make the final decision. I just quote two examples, then I'll pass the time to Sonali and Dr. Stephen. I was just at an Asia Water exhibition. I'm not sure, I'm from the manufacturing background. So 2 weeks ago, we had a very big exhibition in KLCC. Yeah, so there was this lady who walked past. She didn't show any interest initially. So after talking to her, I was quoting some examples about the features of the machine, just one example, but didn't talk much. So she came back, and then we talked further with an emotional connection. Immediately, she placed order for 2 pumps. So this is to show you that sometimes decision is not logical. It is really your brain, how it got triggered at the moment you feel that, yeah, I quite like this person, so you buy it, something like that. Yeah, so today the takeaway for us is our brain always tend to fill in the blank. Second thing is about trigger points, like what triggers you. Is quantum decision making is not linear. It's like possibilities. They can buy and they can don't buy. They can feel and they don't feel. It's a lot of probabilities. Okay, with that, I would like to ask Sonali, what do you think of neuromarketing in playing out in everyday life? And what is your opinion on that, and how does it affect marketing strategies?
Good evening, everyone. So as Faith put the context very right, neuromarketing is not a new science or which is suddenly evolved. I very much believe it has always been there in our day-to-day lives, but we don't certainly give much attention that how it is happening. And we sort of fall into that space very much into the brand without even knowing. Like if you see how we scroll the reels, it is top to bottom. So that's the format derived that the brain is working when you're scrolling top to down, and you tend to scroll more. So that is the underlying principle why they have kept the format like that. So likewise, a brand is perceived always higher and recognized more if it is based on a certain emotion, a memory, or a cognitive resonance. That's how you react more to it and you recall it better. So if we look at very popular brands examples such as McDonald's says, I'm loving it, Nike says, just do it. So these are not just bland slogans. These are based on some key studies which are strategically done, that a response of a human brain to connections, to the feeling, and to the passion is always higher. So henceforth, the science of neuromarketing in date of today in brand marketing is always evolving. Because otherwise, how you associate with the consumer on day-to-day life is very difficult, because we are exposed to so many different brands. So to have that neuron synchronization to happen, we need a certain link. Like a very common example I will put up is Netflix. So how it gives you examples of suggestions based upon your likelihood, what you like to watch, the content which you tend to perceive and consume higher. It will give you only those examples. So the algorithms in the back end work in a certain fashion, which is based on what you're consuming, the data. So the neuron study is becoming more and more evolved in date of today. And in marketing, like we marketeers use it very strategically. I give you another very great example. That is the art of persuasion, like the science of persuasion. So if a second person is talking about a certain brand and is believing in that choice, so we tend to believe in that faster. That's how influencer marketing is on rise, because that is already a belief, a statement, a trust which has formed. So it is easier for a new audience to believe in that because it's already acted upon. So we tend to, our brains work in that certain fashion. So I want to hear more from Stephen. How do you feel that, you know, based upon the studies, what do you think that it has come so strongly? Why do you feel it is very strong and important part of study?
Okay. Yeah, maybe before that, just to add on to Sonali point, right? We talk so much about AI today, right? You can, just to share an example, one of my good friends, he was using AI to help his mother to look for pineapple tarts. Okay, pineapple tarts. So you need to know where to buy the pineapple tarts, right? Branding and marketing. So after 1 month, every time when you open the AI, it is always pineapple tart. He was very frustrated. He said, no more pineapple tart. So basically, you can trick the AI. Yeah, it's like a lot of AI, what they do is they are based on history, based on your previous search behavior. But neuromarketing, a lot of time is situational triggers. And human being, we have this power called observation, which AI doesn't have yet. On the actual situation, how do you tweak your eyebrow? You know, your expressions say something a lot. That means unseen languages say so much about the decision. So this one this one is the precious gift that human beings have, because then you can build your distance to reduce power distance between party A and party B. That's how you can shorten the decision making. Otherwise, it'd be so long, especially B2B is a long sales cycle. Yeah, with that, maybe Dr. Stephen would like to present some slides on neuromarketing. Yeah.
Testing. Okay, good evening, everybody. Yes, a little bit different, okay, my part. Right, I think I'd like to go along with some visuals instead of just only talking. And I just try to combine the two ladies, which is the statement to make. I think the context here is where do we come from, where do we go? The process is human factors. So therefore, we're looking at human reason. So fantastic presentation early on. Not presentation, I mean some of the talks. And I picked up some of the points, of course, from some of the speaker. And also is profoundly inspirational, I must say that. It's also getting to I think I need to make it a little bit more, which is in this human civilization today, we are transitioning to the new era, which is the age of AI. So there's a many perspective, many argument about can we do this, can we do that, replacement or not replace, are we still around or here to stay, or all these kind of things. So I think today we are looking from the different perspective. So I have been thinking about how can I talk about this topic actually. Should I just sit down there, just talk about that, or should I just go along with visual? I think I go along with the visual because I've been working this for the last 2 weeks intensively, put all this together in order. So I'm going to look at this topic, which is some of my friends asking me, are you talking about physics, quantum marketing? Are you okay, Stephen? Well, I'm not sure actually. I think it's going to work out actually. So let's look at what is beyond the surface. Okay, so what is the trigger, which is turning the subconscious trigger into the strategy. Okay, it's back good. Okay, first of all, let's look at the invisible driver here. if you understand the subconscious in the business nowadays, so 95% of the rule, most decisions happen below conscious awareness. This is not come from me. This is the data. And well, because I'm academic, so I always look at data a lot. So, and also cognitive shortcuts here, brains use a heuristic to save energy and time. So there's where the AI, which is AI, take place. So many reliance, so actually it's become a habit. So I'm not debunk the idea of using it, but it's okay. It's just like, I know that I will say something against certain speaker. For me, it's a tool. I know that some of you say, no, it's not a tool. I know that some of the speakers say, for me, it's a tool. Yes, it is. Of course, you can go against what I said. It's okay. But I have the contextual reason because it is a tool. It's an enhancement. So it's to progress our human brain works. Emotional angles, I think two ladies have mentioned all these. Past experience, detect present professional reaction. There's many of the speakers talk about that. So from their professional practice, that's okay because that's where you do it in terms of practical implication in front of you. So of course, put it in the layman term, you make money of that, you make the living. Is there anything wrong? No, nothing wrong. It's okay. Everyone's try to sustain, which is make the most of it in terms of in this age of AI. So the goal is to move from the reactive habits to the intentional strategy. So what actually is going to be? So just now I was asking, where do we come from? Where do we go? So if you look at the conscious mind and the subconscious mind here, so the iceberg, you can see that. So 95% is subconscious. This is the finding. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Aish. Okay, right, tech, there you go. If you know how to handle it, everything is beautiful. If you don't know how to handle it, there you go. Okay, this is the, I just tag along like what Faye just mentioned about making decision. According to Belsky, so it comes to making decision. So each one of us, which effectively has two separate systems operating in our brain. So Belsky, by the way, Gary Belsky, I'm not sure whether any one of you know that. He's a New York Times bestseller author, journalist, and also behavioral economics expert, best known in serving as editor-in-chief of ESPN, the magazine, from 2007 to 2011. So he talks about, this is the framework according to him. So system one, the one you see, right, is essentially automatic, making it possible to all sort of things, drink water, drive car, or without much conscious thought. So the one on which is you see the system two, you're probably more familiar with the system two, is a slower process, build conscious thought. So requiring significant amount of focus, which is a fact to each conclusion decision you make. So I put it in the context so you know why is 95% is up, which is which is subconscious. Okay. The second point I'm going to go into, which is identifying the triggers here. Okay, this is interesting point here. So based on this, transforming subconscious bias into the competitive age. So from this framework, you can see pattern of recognition track recurring stress point in the high-stake meeting, and also second point, bias awareness. So there's a many prospect about this. So, and spot similarity bias when hiring or promoting, especially you come to like looking for, which is the people who are working for you, especially many of the practitioner, professional, just now was talking about that. Physical cues is like use tension, heart rate as early warning system. So, and what I'm trying to, which is what I'm trying to imply here, which is oh, okay, thank you. Okay, formalizing the informer. This is my understanding. So what does it mean by formalizing which is the informer, which is formalizing the interview process will help mitigate the bias created by similarity. So rely on the scorecard, for instance, if you come into the workplace and which is blind resume rather than just gut feeling. So if you come to the point of this, which is the last point, review gut feelings against the objective performance matrix. So recognizing conflict points, this is the second point. So Faith mentioned about micro moment. So I just tag along with that, which is like replying the emails. Well, probably some people like to do that, interrupting people during meetings to create quick judgment or deliberating such which instances will keep biases from magnifying. So the last point I'd like to share with you, which is reversing the objective. Diversification is important here, should not be perceived as a mere metrics, but an effective way to mitigate, which is read through the assistant perspective. Right, the next point I like to find, this is the last point here, identifying the trigger. This is important. Sorry, actually this is the next one. I went backward. Yeah, this is the one, yes. So, so when you look at this so-called this diagram, pictogram, the big data analytics and AI consumer behavior in digital marketing, which digital marketing is about the application synthetic and data and future direction. So I try to summarize this faster because Faye said it to me, you only have 5 minutes up there. So I need to put everything very fast actually. But of course, you want to talk to me in detail, I can talk to you. Consumer-centric with the business architecture linking CRM to customer experience. So based on that, so you can see that. And okay, all right, it's a bit all over the places. Okay, strategy pivot. So I'm going to look at this converting, which is instinct to the competitive, which is the age. So, and this is important. So when you see that psychological safety here will build culture by triggering trust, not fair. So which is some of the speaker indicated that earlier on. So, and also choice of architecture, design, environment that nudge teams towards the deep work. So this is important. It really depends on what is the working culture, really. And also narrative reframing, which is how replace value triggers with iteration mindset. So I spoke to my colleague Kevin just now, earlier on. Actually, are we ready? Because in the AI world, many people is not really ready. So that's the reason there's a lot of all these flaws, which is people not being genuine, which is ethically. So like cut and paste and all. I just give you the example. One of my some of my students, well, not really some of the students, majority of the students, put it this way, especially the undergraduate, they take things that just literally come from just AI, just give it to me. So do I need to pay my time, pay more attention to whatever they done actually? So this is a good question. Also, Sebastian was talking to me about this issue earlier on as well. So there is many ways to look at this. Of course, you cannot debunk the idea of using this, but you need to let them to use it because the more you stop, the more they will go into that. So it's you. If you find that something is not right, fishy, right, you want to go further checking, then just get them to have a chat with you. So this is come back to the human. So do you want to do it? So it's up to the individual. But of course, I will go into more details about this. I have to move on for the other part. So when you could predict the result of your campaign, so go beyond the numbers. Of course, this is some of the things which I'd like to share with you, but I have to skip that. Okay, this is the part I think is more exciting. A little bit of technical here. I know there's some of the technical word here. So this is the neuromarketing, understanding the influencing buying decision. So this is the study I been putting together, which is the past 2 weeks intensively. So of course, I have a student help me to put everything in visual, so to make it sound which is viable, presentable. So and this neuromarketing insight, which is post-purchase follow-up. This is important for many of the so-called CEO, CMO, whatever O you are. So I think this is important. But of course, you are not literally to go and do this, but you have someone to, which is to be coordinated for you. So personalized thank you message is important. Loyalty programs all activate by limbic system and also reward circuits. So building the emotional bond, which is the drives the repeat purchase and referrals. So in this point, actually, right, I like to go into a little bit very quick one, which is some of the things which is probably you don't understand, like amygdala and also reptilian brain. So I only picking these two because I think this is very important here. So like for instance, the harnessing the reptilian brain is the primal brain focused on survival, differentiation, and visual cues. So this is the marketers can create immediate focus thought. So, and there's a 3 point I like
to break you. This is actually used by some of the brands like for packaging studies and to make the logo. So Coke is also using based upon the EEG responses of the stimuli to the brain. So what works more for the brand, so they're able to use it in the logo. So the color association and the design association. So I'm just stating an example because this is too technical.
Yeah, I know that. So I try to explain this, contrast the visual elements like what you just mentioned this, which to highlight the difference. So second is self-focused messaging that answer what is in it for me. So the third point is practice value, which is over-feature abstraction, decrease mental effort. So of course, I can explain this in the really, which is in the 24 hours, that kind of explanation. But of course, today I'm just making these 3 points important according to Sonali. So I think, yes, I'm here to contextualize the whole things in order to get everybody to understand actually where do we come from. Actually, from this point, where do we go? So the next point is the point I want to pick up is soothe the amygdala. So the calming the amygdala is the deal with the fears and doubts. So this is triggering bias, remorse, or cart abandonment. So to alleviate, so the concern which is social validation. So which is a reviews testimonial. This is important. Some of the speakers mentioned this. You can go and get a survey done. So yes, I think in the layman term. But in the academic term, yes, it is which is a social validation. This is important. So confirms the legitimacy of the selection. So then you know that where you're supposed to heading for. So the second is the risk reversal. So this is money back guarantees, we call this. So function as an emotional safeguard. So the third point is the soothe navigation, avoid the anxiety created by the too many choices. So I'm just making these 3 points for this amygdala. So of course, in details, of course, I can talk about that. I think that's it for today.
There's one more example on that.
Okay.
Like you mentioned, social and the aversions. So our brain perceives pain more than the recognition and gain. So if you see the last moment deal, so your brain tend to act faster and you tend to add it to the cart. Or if you are in a store, so if there is, last piece left or something like that. So that is strategically used so that you pick up that last piece and you should not feel the loss of that pain. So that's how the brain functions.
Thank you. Fantastic. Also, I'd like to make some points here. It comes to ethic. Some of the speakers mentioned about ethic today. Yes, I totally agree. It's just like majority of the user of AI, they're just totally out of order. They just blow out to the proportions. They just do whatever they want and they just go ahead. But actually, there is the ethical ground rules here. So I think it's come back to the human factors here. So neuroscience is potent, it's important. So sustaining trust demands transparency, prevent exploitation. So the 2 points I'd like to share with you, which is cognitive autonomy. This is a big contextual, it's a very academic word. So what does it mean by cognitive autonomy? Which is a guarantee not just support decision without coercion. Second is a value congruence. So what does it mean? Apply neuroscience findings to tackle genuine issue, not contrived ones. So this is the 2 points I'd like to share with you. I think I'm done. Okay.
Thank you, Professor, for that insightful
thank you.
brain journey.
Yeah, thank you so much. We can take one question due to time constraint.
Any questions?
Any question?
All right, one question for the last session, Power Talk. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you all so much for sharing. I'd like to take this moment as an opportunity for co-creation because I've been really inspired. And I'd like to use my voice in this moment to offer a contrast for contemplation. One of the hats I wear is as a psychologist. And as a psychologist, I have to take a Hippocratic oath. Do no harm. Be in service to humanity. And I share this to first lay the grounds because today I'm hearing so much psychology being used. And it inspires the questions of when marketing has been used to re-engineer the human brain to see apple no more as a fruit, but as something else, is that in service to humanity? When I sit here and I hear speakers openly discuss brainwashing, is that in service to humanity? Having the power of psychology in your hands and in your hearts brings so much responsibility. And I leave for your contemplation today the question, are you in service to humanity? Thank you.
Thank you, Laura.
Thank you. Yeah, actually just to echo the sentiment, the Nobel Prize winner actually mentioned this, the growth of AI, it should have been slowed down and focused a lot more on medicine, the field of medicine, rather than in the hand of capitalism. So this is a very good platform for us to contemplate. If we know how much do we know and how do we utilize it, not just for capital growth, but also for humanity as well. Yeah, so with that, we'll wrap up these sessions. Thank you very much to listen to this, Power of Persuasion. So basically, we'll just focus on benefit of all mankind, and whatever that we do, we always go back to our conscience. Yeah, thank you so much.
All right, can we have a big round of applause for Sonali, Faith, and Dr. Stephen? Thanks for your patience and cooperation and, staying back till delayed. So a big round of applause for our final power talk and the conclusion for the science of persuasion, neuromarketing, and quantum strategy, decoding consumer decision making. So can we come forward for the quick group fee?